Really exciting announcement as part of some of the legislation that we did earlier this year on the infrastructure bill, American Rescue Plan. Lynchburg received the biggest grant in the state to electrify its school bus fleet. So by late fall 2023, a third of the Lynchburg school fleet will be electrified. So 25 of the 75 or so buses will be electrified, which will enable Lynchburg to better on the environment, but also dramatically save on gas costs. And Lynchburg will be the leader in the Commonwealth. So others will then, like, we want to come to Lynchburg and see how it's going. So it's going to be good for the environment, good for the school board budget, but also you'll see Lynchburg as a leader in the Commonwealth on this.
It's more expensive during the day and during the summertime,
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of what we do.
Right.
We run on days during the winter, so we would charge at night during the winter for the most part.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great. And about a third of the fleet will end up being electrified, which would make Lynchburg definitely the leader in Virginia on this, which is kind of exciting.
Very exciting.
The other thing I asked her before, some of you heard, is like, when will the fleet be electrified? And the goal is to try to do it in the fall.
Yes,
So,
late fall.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Well, good. Well, I'm excited about this. This is really, now I got to come back and see them in operation.
Come on back.
Take a ride.
Because I've been in electric vehicles, but never in an electric bus. And electric is really good for fleet vehicles. So if you think about school bus, you think about postal service, you think about UPS and FedEx, the folks who use the big fleets, that's where you really end up getting both savings but environmental benefit by electrification. So we're going to build 500,000 electric charging stations in the United States because of the transportation bill that we did. So that's, 500,000 would be like 10,000 a state if it was just evened out. And that will really enable a lot more people to use electric vehicles for personal use, but for fleet vehicles that are, stored in a single location, I mean, the ability to do charging that way will really enable you to save money. They reached the tip top of that mountain of trash, which jiggled and broke with an ear-splitting crash. I'm not sure that I can compare it to something else, but it's a very big house because it's more than a house. It's a place for parties, and there's a lot of offices in there too. So the second floor is where the president and family live, but the first floor and the lower kind of ground floor are where there's all kinds of events. Is that, please? You have a card for me.
Well, I can speak to what you were saying a minute ago, Senator, when I love bass. Our kids our son Aaron Coy has been since kindergarten, and just knowing that they're with teachers and staff that care about them, and so when you were telling the story about Zoom and all of that, I remember when we were doing during COVID and having to, I had at the time I think we had first grade and kindergarten, and so and they're doing having to do their meetings in their morning huddles and things like that. And so at the time we were thankful that we were able to keep her at home, but at the time I think my wife was working third shift, and so we were balancing. So I would go into a meeting and then I would stop and do a huddle with the kindergarten and then go to the next one. And it was very challenging, but the staff and the teachers just really made it easy, being very flexible and understanding when I was like, hey, I'll be right back, and go jump, get the other one set up. And so it was challenging, but it also was it helped me to have an appreciation. We were talking about this last night, just an appreciation for what the staff and the teachers do day in and day out. We weren't huge on, we would always be really, mindful of a teacher appreciation, but after COVID, I was like, we're not missing the teacher appreciation.
Give them whatever they want.
Whatever they need, and so I just was that really opened my eyes up to see like the sacrifice that they do with the packets and the calls and all of that. And so, yeah, it was a lot, but it opened my eyes up to really have a greater appreciation for the things that the teachers do.
So your kids were third, first in K then, so it's like fifth,
third and second.
So about your fifth grader about to go on to middle school.
It's sad.
You like this place so much.
Yeah, absolutely. These are family. I was literally here the other day for a teacher conference and cried in fifth grade classroom. Just because they do.
I cried sometimes because what they said about
But just to add to what he was saying, I think that was a big support, was having the teachers supporting us during that. Cause it was difficult. I had a child learning alphabet, one learning to read and one learning multiplication all in the same year. So it was nuts, but I appreciate the support that we got from staff and administration here. I think the biggest part was the socialization for my children. I mean, while they socialize with each other, because they've been at this school and this school's so small and close knit, these kids are their family. And so that was difficult. That was probably one of the hardest parts of going through COVID for us.